Today, we are going to get into loads and loads of details because we are currently in the middle of programming a farm, programming an automatic wheat farm. That is what we are currently doing. And the reason that we are doing that, for those of you guys who are new to the series, is because we are trying to go to space. And the most important thing to go to space is to color the walls of the rocket room. So we have been working for a long time on building the, well, a long time, like just a few episodes, not a long time, but we've been working on trying to expand a sheep farm, make a gigantic sheep farm. And for those of you guys who have seen the previous episodes, you know all this already, but we are trying to build a giant sheep farm. We need to build a giant wheat farm in order to build a giant sheep farm. And we are trying to automate that automatic wheat farm, or rather, it is not an automatic wheat farm if it is not yet automated, so that is besides the point. But here we go. Here is the program so far. We have the basic overview. We needed to refuel these turtles so that they can actually move, and then wait for the wheat to grow, and then harvest backwards, and then plant forwards, and then sort the important things into the different chests and things. And that is what we are trying to do in general, but today we are going to be filling in loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of details to actually make these terms mean something that the turtle can understand. So, we are going to get to that today. Now, the first thing on that list is to refuel, so that should be fairly simple in theory. Can we make it down here? Yes, we can without dying. All right. So, this should be fairly simple in theory. We have currently above the turtles, we're going to have... Ooh, maybe not so simple. How are we going to divide the lava into those 4 chests? Okay, that's going to be the harder part, is actually getting the lava into the chests in the first place, because actually programming it should be easy. So, we've got lava buckets are going to wind up in... Oh, actually, maybe it's not too bad, because we just have a turtle going along. Once again, a turtle. We have a turtle, probably, or something, going along back and forth between these 4 chests, and checking if any of them need filling and stuff like that. So, that's an idea. So we shall assume that there's a lava bucket in the chest. Actually, we shall assume... Let me get some cobblestone. Aha! We got the cobblestone. So, what we need is to fill in the rest of this chest with cobblestone, I think might be a good idea. I'm just trying to think through how to actually make it so that another turtle coming by can actually tell if if the chest needs a lava bucket or not. Oh, you know what? By the time, so the idea, for those of you guys who are unfamiliar, we do have in the bottom of the basement here, let me go wander over here so that we can see it, but in the bottom of the basement over this direction, not this direction, but the other direction through here, if we get all the way through here, there is a lava system. Now, the difficulty is that the lava is all over here, and if we head over to here, then you can see the lava is over here. Now, what the difficulty is that we have is that we need to somehow get the lava buckets from here all the way over into our new place over there with the new turtles and things like that. So, yes, so that is the difficulty, but assuming that we can get it all over to our little farm over here, which will happen in quite a long while, probably, but, oh, we are stuck underneath. We are on the wrong layer. If you can see anything right now, we are currently climbing over bedrock, trying to get to the one staircase to get up. That is over here, and there we go. But anyways, what we have is we have lava that will come over here. By the time that we manage to get the system connected to bring the lava buckets automatically over to here, we will also have enough iron, or we should have enough iron to be able to fill the entirety of these chests with buckets. If we can fill them with buckets, then we do not need to worry about filling in all these slots, and then the turtle has to sort through, is it a cobblestone that it picked up, or is it a lava bucket, or whatever, and it doesn't have to do any of that, because it'll all be lava buckets, it just has to pick them up. And then when it's done, so here's back to the refuel line in the code here. We've got the turtle is going to refuel, and what he has to do essentially is take a bucket, which this chest will be full of buckets is the idea, and he will take a bucket out of here, he will refuel with it, and then he will have an empty bucket, at which point that will get put into the chest in front of him. And when the bucket is put in the chest in front of him, then that is the chest that gets sorted into all the different things and stuff like that. So, I think that would be the best way to do it. I think it would, unless you guys have a better suggestion. But for now, let's go ahead and program the parts that we can. If you guys have a suggestion for how exactly to handle this chest here, then let me know. But for now, we will program assuming that we... wrong button. There we go. Assuming that there will be loads of lava buckets in there. There. Now, to go back in the turtle, after all the trouble of pressing the wrong button 5 times. Anyways, let's go ahead and do this. So, we need him to, first of all, check if he needs fuel, and then if he does need fuel, then refuel. So, that should be fairly simple. So let's go ahead and define the function at the top. So you can see down here, for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with programming, basically... this is the main loop. I explained this last time, but this is the main loop of the program, and every line in here... whoops, wrong button. There's a theme going on here. It's the wrong button day. But anyways, yeah, so we got here the refuel is the first, what's called a function. Basically, I type in refuel and then open bracket, close bracket, and it tells the turtle that wherever you see this word with the open bracket and the closed bracket, it means something, and do what it means. And so we need to actually define up here what it means. So let's say, I think it was, I think you type function, and so that tells it is a function that you're defining, and then we shall define it. So function refuel, and I think you do an open bracket, close bracket thing. And I think you do an end. Let me just double check. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm going to look this up. Yes, that is how you do it. So, we've got function refuel. We need it to do 2 things. First, check if it needs any fuel. And then if it does need fuel, then go ahead and fill up the turtle with the buckets that are above it. So, we need it to check if it needs fuel. And so the way to do that, obviously, is we need to use the get fuel level command. But... the issue with the get fuel level command is that we need to know actually what we're checking for. So let's go ahead and first of all type that in. So actually, yeah, what are we checking for? We need to check. So the turtle needs how much fuel to get back. I think it uses 1 fuel point per block it travels, I think. So this these farms are okay. So there's 4 blocks here before the water. So then that's 5, and then there's another 4, and then 4. And then water, so that would be 8, and 5 would be like 13, and then the water would be 14, and then there's another 8, which would be 22, and then 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So 27 that way, so let's say 30, so 30 that way, that would be 60. So let's say if the turtle has more than 100 fuel, then it would be okay, but let's actually do more than 200 fuel, just to be on the safe side. So... I think it would be best to do this in an if statement. I'm just trying to think through on the fly, but here we go. So if, we need to say if the turtle has less than 200 fuel. So basically what we need to do is if, we need a variable first. Sorry, I have not programmed in quite a while, but we will get this done. We will get this done and successfully done. So... we need to make a variable. Let's say current fuel level would be equal to, and let's say that would be turtle.get fuel level. There we go. There we go. That is that. So let's delete that extra carriage return. We're getting too many of them. So current fuel is equal to turtle.get fuel level. So it checks what the fuel level is, and then it checks if current fuel is, we want it to be, we want the turtle to do the refueling stuff if the fuel level is less than or equal to the 200, let's say 200. So there we go. So if current fuel level is less than or equal to 200, then do a whole bunch of things that are inside the if statement here. So current fuel, so we have it checking what the fuel is, we have it checking if it is less than 200, and then we want it to refuel if it is less than 200, and if it is not less than 200, then it will just ignore this completely. It will just ignore this completely. So that is okay. So we need to have it actually refuel, and the way to do that would be to go ahead. Whoa. There's so many scenarios to think about. We got the thing. I'm just thinking like, okay, so it's going to pull a bucket out of the chest above, but what if it pulls it into a slot that is already full? Because then what happens? Like, let's test that. Let's test that so that you can see what's happening. So exit. So let's go ahead and Lua. Oh, that's not how you spell Lua. There we go. And what we got here is so let's say that it just went through, picked up a whole bunch of wheat, and it has extra seeds. And we tell it turtle dot, and we need it to suck an item from the chest above. Suck up. There we go. Turtle dot suck up. And you see this slot is the one selected with the seeds. It has a little white outline around it, thicker than the other ones. You can tell that it is the one selected. But the lava bucket is in a different slot because this one was full, so it uses this one instead. So yeah, so we need to somehow, when the turtle is refueling, we need him to check all of the slots. Actually, what does it do if we do turtle.refuel right now? Turtle.refuel. There we go, and let's check that. And items not combustible. Aha. So we told it to refuel, and it is not refueling because it is selecting the seeds. So we need to do a little bit more complication to have it actually go and select the lava bucket in the second slot. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and restart this here turtle. Restart this here turtle. And here we go. So we need it to... If the current fuel level is less than 200, then we need it to refuel, and we need it to, I guess we might as well have it cycle through all the slots. I don't see any harm in doing that, unless, of course, it will use wheat as well. That is possible. But, so, let's go ahead and do a loop that cycles through all the things. That would be a for loop. We've done these before. Haha, for loop that we've done before. So, for I is equal to, so I'm not going to take a long time explaining it right now. I equals 1 to 16. Do and end the for loop down here, and then up here we want it to select slot I turtle dot select, because I is the variable that we use in the loop at the top. That is why we said I is equal to 1 to 16. It goes through every number from 1 to 16 and selects that slot. And we've explained this before. And then we need turtle dot refuel. Refuel. There we go. Wait, is there a refuel all command? No, there isn't. It's just a refuel. Okay, so this should in theory work. Except I think if we run this program, that we will find that well, first of all, it won't work because of all our other functions that are down here that need to be defined later. Let's go ahead and comment these out just so that we can actually test our refuel code. So, commenting out, by the way, you can see it more clearly on the advanced turtle. Let's go ahead and just demonstrate that quickly right now. But commenting out is just basically, it turns it from a line that the computer is trying to use into a line, oh, like this one, the green line in here, in this program, in this code here. When you put 2 dashes in front of it, it turns it from a line that the computer is trying to use to a line that the computer is just like, oh, that's a comment for, like, the programmer wanted to remember something, so it's a comment. So that's what the green means. And these basic turtles over here do not have colors, but they do the same things. So, there we go. So let's go ahead and comment out all these things, because now they will not get in the way of the refuel program. And so we must indeed, whoops, let's go ahead and do Control-R to restart. There we go. And now, not edit, we need to do wheat harvest in a line. Will it refuel itself? No. Why is it not refuel? Oh, okay, so we've got 2 problems happening here. We've got, it said too long without yielding, because what is happening, let's go ahead and edit wheat harvest in a line. What is happening is that it is going down here, and it is simply repeating itself over and over and over again. Let's go ahead and comment out the while loop as well, because that way it will not be looping over and over again. And let's see, so it was not, oh, you know what, it was not selecting all the slots because it has more than 200 fuel. So let's say, just for the sake of testing this, let's go down to where it says 200 and turn it into, if it has less than 20,000 fuel, because it definitely has less than 20,000, and then we can actually see what it does. So it should work properly. Restart. Let's go ahead and wheat harvest in the line, and aha, there we go. It has refueled. And what is actually the fuel level? How do we check that? Refuel, and I think something, not entirely sure how. Oh yes, let's go in the Lua prompt, find out what its fuel level actually is. Turtle.get fuel level, and after all of this, it is 2,000. Okay, so let's go ahead and restart again, and let's go ahead and head into the wheat harvest in the line. By the way, if you don't know how to restart a turtle, basically you just hold Control and hold T, and then no, that's terminate. But yeah, so that's one you might want to know as well. But go ahead and use R instead of T, and then it restarts. Anyways, back to the point. Okay, so let's go ahead and set current fuel. We need it to check for less than 200 instead of 20,000. 20,000 was useful for testing purposes, but now we are done with that. So I think we have now got the refuel function done. So it goes ahead, and no, it is not done. It is not done. It is only partially done because we have to actually have it pick up the bucket first. So first thing it does is it checks if it has enough fuel to go. So the overview of the refuel function is it checks if it has enough fuel to travel the distance there and back. If it does not, then it must grab a bucket out of the chest up there. So let's go ahead and tell it to grab a bucket out of the chest before looping, because we don't want it to grab 16 buckets from the chest. Just one will do just fine. So we need it to, if current fuel is less than 200, then we need it to what was it? Oh yes, suck up. Turtle.suck up. There we go, and that is that. So it sucks a bucket out of the chest above, if there is indeed one in the chest above. And then it, just thought of another scenario. Told you that this video would be about going through loads and loads of details. So here's another scenario. Is that, what if it tries to grab a bucket, but there are none in the chest? As it currently stands, it will not grab a bucket, and then it will go ahead and it will check through all the slots, try to refuel, and it's like, oh, okay, there's no bucket, except it doesn't even realize there's no bucket. It just gets to the end of this refuel function up here and moves on, which is not what we want, at all. So we need to have this whole thing in a loop, and I think the best way to do that would be have a repeat loop, because a repeat loop always runs itself once at least. And let's go ahead and indent all of this just to make it a little bit easier to read and stuff. There we go. And this one as well. There we go. So now the repeat loop always runs itself at least once, which is very helpful. We need it to repeat until... Oh, actually, before we do the until, let's go ahead and check our fuel level again. And current fuel, and let's go ahead and check this again. And it checked at the beginning of the thing, but then it refueled, so we need to check what the current level is after refueling. Turtle.get fuel level. Okay, so it checks the fuel level again. And repeat doing the trying to grab a bucket and refuel and stuff until current fuel. This is basically a repeat of what we did in the if statement a few lines ago, but the only difference is that it is not in an if statement, it is at the end. Until current fuel is, until current fuel is greater than or equal to 200. There we go. So this way, if it still does not have enough fuel because it has not been able to grab a bucket from the chest, then it will go ahead and redo the code and stuff until it finds one. Let's actually, one thing we need to do though, two more scenarios, two more details to work out. We got the situation of what happens if it just keeps looping over and over and over and over again. That is possible. And so the way to fix that is just simply to add a little bit of a delay. Let's go ahead and do os.sleep, and it doesn't really matter how long. Let's make it not too long, but not too short. 4 seconds. Might as well do 4 seconds. But here's another scenario that we forgot to account for down here, I think. We forgot to account for the scenario. What happens if we reload the world in between? The turtle restarts, and he happens to be located right here. If the turtle is right here, and then we restart, and then he tries to grab a bucket from the chest that's not there. Where's the chest? Because the chest is over here. So, yeah, so the first thing the turtle needs to do is find the starting position. So this is slightly more complicated than it was last episode. So let's go ahead and first thing we need to do is find the starting position, because I think the refuel function is done. So find, we don't need to indent. Yes, we do need to indent this. Okay. Find starting position. There we go. Find starting position. And we need to have him find starting position. So the first thing to do, we need to define the function find starting position so he knows what it means. So function, and this should be an easy one. Hopefully, possibly, we never know, but find starting, come on, type properly please, position, there we go, find starting position, and there we go. So, what we need him to do is, there is only one scenario, because he does not go up and down, and he does not go side to side, he only goes front and back. So, what he needs to do is check if there is a chest above his head. If there is no chest above his head, that means he's over here, or somewhere along here. And if there is no chest above his head, go forward. Okay, don't break the wheat, please. Don't break the wheat, please. Where's the hoe? Where's the hoe? Ho, ho. There's the hoe. Hoeing the seed. There we go. And let's go ahead and head back over to here. And let's check on this. So, find starting position. So, first, check if there's a chest above his head. If there is no chest, just go forward until there is a chest above your head. That's basically what the situation is. So, let's, how do we check that? Trying to remember. It's been a long time since I was programming something like this, I think, unless I'm just being stupid, which could be possible. But let's see. I think we have this. No, this guy doesn't check any of that stuff. So let's just go ahead and see. Turtle.detect up. Oh, I think we can do this all in one line, which would save on the variable thing. So if we need to check if, and let's do, I think it was in regular brackets, or rather parentheses is the proper pronunciation of the word. But in any case, if we need in brackets here, and if turtle dot inspect. Oh, actually, we don't even need to inspect if it is a chest, just if there's anything above the turtle. So, yeah, so if there is something above the turtle, turtle.detect, let's get rid of this bracket so we can actually see it properly. Turtle.detect up, that should tell it if there is a block above it. If turtle.detect up is equal to false, then we want it to do all of this running forward and stuff. But if there is something above the turtle, if turtle.detect up is true, then just stay there, because this is the only situation in which there would be something above the turtle. So, if turtle.detect up is equal to false, if there's nothing above him, then we need turtle.forward. I think it would be best to do a master loop around this function. So, like, go here and go and do the whole function. And let's say, okay, so here's the thing is that we want it to check, we want the turtle to check if there's something above him every single time that he moves, because he could have started the world and he's right here, and so then he moves one, and then there's a chest, but then he keeps trying to move or whatever. We want him to check every single block that he moves. So we want him to check if there's a block above him, and then go forward. And then we want him to repeat that until there is a block above him. So repeat, these are very helpful loops. Repeat until turtle, and let's do the same thing as we did in the if statement, but down here. Turtle.detect up if repeat until turtle.detect up is equal to true. There we go. TRU, not TUR. There we go. TUR is the beginning of turtle, but it is not the beginning of this. So there we go. Repeat until turtle.detect up is true. So if it does not detect a chest, if I'm programming this all correctly, which is possible that I'm not, but we shall find out. If there is a block, if there's no block above the turtle, then go forward and repeat until there is a block above the turtle. That is what the find starting position thing does. That should work. Let's go ahead and test it. So let's go ahead and go back, let's say 15. There we go. On his way back, he will find himself at the back here. And one more slight modification. We want it to actually, be able to tell when it's running which function. So the first thing we want it to do when it starts this function is print into the text menu on the turtle. We want it to print the text running. Let's try to add there we go. Running. Find starting position. There we go. And let's go ahead and close the quotes on that. There we go. And we want it to actually tell us when it's running the refuel thing as well. And I'll add that and be back in a second. And now let's test this. So wheat harvest in a line. Let's test this. Wheat harvest in a line. Oh. On line 5, then expected. Aha! We missed something. Line 5, where's line 5? There we go. Oh, yes. If, then. If, then. If this, then do that. That is the main key of the programming with if statements. There we go. So, he should start, when we press enter, he should start by going forward until he reaches the chest and then say running refuel. He should not say running refuel until he arrives at that chest. We shall find out. Find starting position. There we go. There we go. And you know what? There is one thing that might help. Okay, so, and running refuel. Okay, so that's excellent. So he did indeed do successfully at running find starting position. There we go. So he found the starting position and then he refueled. Now, here's a problem that you guys might have been wondering about. We still have an empty bucket in the inventory. So what is going to happen with that? Here's the thing. In the refuel function, we could say as part of refueling, go ahead and sort out the bucket and put it in this chest over here. But the thing with that is that it adds a lot more code, and later on we are going to be sorting the important. Sort the important is the last function in the chain, which is the perfect time to sort through the bucket. So I think we can leave it in the inventory for now. And when we get down to sorting the important stuff into the inventory and stuff like that, when we get down to that, then the turtle can drop the bucket down, because that should be a simpler program with using fewer lines and things. So let's go ahead and try that. So we got find the starting position, which he now does successfully, and then refuel, which he now does successfully, except for dropping off the bucket. And then we need him to wait for the wheat. Now, what exactly needs to happen to wait for the wheat? What is the meaning of wait for the wheat? Well, we know what the meaning of wait for the wheat is that he's waiting for the wheat to grow. So I think the best thing to do for that, because here's the thing, the wheat, here's another problem with this. The wheat is basically, we could even be having the turtles go back and forth all the time, forward and backward and stuff like that, and just harvesting whatever wheat happens to grow, which we could do. But that would use a lot of fuel. And until we have the automatic cobblestone generator hooked up to the master system, then we are low on lava. So here's the thing, though, is that the turtle is sitting right on top of a piece of wheat, and so I think that if he just detects that piece, once it has grown completely, then he will be able to go ahead and be like, okay, well, the rest of them are probably grown. Some of them will have, some of them will not have. But then he'll be like, okay, they've grown, so time to go. And then goes ahead and harvests the wheat like that. That is the idea. Now, we need to find out indeed what in the world wheat is called when it is fully grown. So let's go ahead and check that with this turtle. And in order to do that, we need to have this guy go to that destination. So go up, and I will get this guy navigated over to the wheat farm so that we can inspect the wheat and be back in a minute. And full-grown wheat is called Minecraft wheat metadata 7. Okay, what is growing wheat called? Let's go ahead and exit the Lua prompt. Let's go left and go forward 5. And there we go. Now he's over top of not full-grown wheat. What is that called? What is that called? In the Lua prompt, we've got turtle dot inspect down, and it is called Minecraft wheat metadata 0. Okay, so it looks like the metadata is what changes. So it looks like these stuff are called wheat in the technical Minecraft name for it. It's called wheat, and it has a metadata of 0, and the metadata, I'm guessing, goes up by 1 for every stage. So like this would be a metadata of 2 or 1 or something. Let's go ahead and check that out. I'll go ahead and navigate him over there and check it out. This partially grown wheat is called metadata of 2. So yes, so metadata of 2. So okay, so it starts with 0. And then as it grows, it goes 1, 2, 3, and all the way up to 7 is the biggest one. So we need the turtle to be over here looking for metadata of 7. He needs to look for the wheat with a metadata of 7, and then go ahead and start moving. So wait for the wheat, and then we need to harvest backwards. Harvest backwards is the moving part, so waiting for the wheat does not need to include moving. So that is fairly simple enough. So we need him to define a function once again, and that would be wait for the wheat. There we go, wait for the wheat. And when he is done waiting for the wheat, then he's going to move on. But for now, we need to define wait for the wheat. And how is he going to wait for the wheat? He's going to have to basically just, all he has to do is we have to have him just wait, let's say maybe 60 seconds in between checking, and then check if the seeds are grown yet. That's basically what he has to do. So we need to have him do that. So I'm going to figure out how to do that and be back with you in a minute. There has been a slight change of plans, and we're going to go through this really fast, so you better pay attention if you want to pay attention. So function is now called wheat status because